What's up, guys? It is me, Big Ryan, back with another video to drop on the second channel, Big Ryan Wrestling / Gaming. And today we're going to be reacting to I watched every Survivor Series of the 2010s by Wrestling GIFs. First off, if you guys are wondering why I'm reacting to this video, this channel, you guys already know, is for wrestling / gaming content, and I do have some gaming content that, I'm planning on editing. But for right now, since, there is kind of a big gap in uploads, I'm gonna start, uploading some reaction content to some gaming / wrestling stuff, and thought, since I really like wrestling GIFs, why not react to this? Now, by the time this video might come out, it might be Survivor Series already, and Survivor Series in the 2010s was very interesting in a way. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe with the bell on us, get notified when I upload a new video. Comment what do you guys want me to react to next. If you guys want me to react to something gaming related or wrestling content, please tell me in the comments and I'll do it, because I also do plan on getting some wrestling content out. And yeah, let's get into the video.
So, in a few days, the WWE is heading over to Chicago, Illinois for Survivor Series 2023. And with an awesome War Games match set, the return of Randy Orton, and rumors of some homeless match from Chicago also possibly returning, the show.
Yo, I'm excited. My GOAT is coming back finally. That's why I'm most excited for. My GOAT is coming back.
Finally feels like a big time show once again. What was once an iconic fall pay-per-view eventually in the 2010s was on life support, and more often than not just became a forgettable one. Most of the time it was obvious that the WWE just did not give a f about Survivor Series. Going into 2010, it was actually announced that Survivor Series was gonna be dropped and rebranded into a different pay-per-view, but it was the fans' love for the tradition and the show that saved it and made the company reconsider.
I'm pretty sure the pay-per-view they were going to rebrand it to was it was going to be bragging rights, because if you guys know, SmackDown versus Raw, so I feel like it was supposed to be bragging rights, but they just moved it to like weeks before Survivor Series.
That's exactly what I did. I watched every Survivor Series of the 2010s, and this is what I found. Let's get into it. We begin in 2010, and live from Miami, Florida, it was the first Survivor Series of the decade. And even though this show was very close to being a different pay-per-view, I like to think that back in 2010, Survivor Series still had its aura. I like to think that this was back when the company still took it seriously. But then I saw the match card, and Survivor Series 2010 was not a good start to the decade at all. You know things are cooked when the first wrestler you see on a show is a future criminal who's gonna face 120 years in prison.
This aged definitely well. This aged definitely well.
I was genuinely shocked at how whatever this show was. See, there were some solid matches, like Daniel Bryan carrying Ted DiBiase to the one good match of his career. Young John.
That's not what I meant to do. That was not what I meant to do right there. But anyway, yeah, 2010 was like alright year. Like, it had like its highlights and all that, but like when you really look at like the actual roster, not many stars. Like, respectfully, because even though I grew up with like the PG era, like the end of the Ruthless Aggression era, with a lot of the PG era to the reality era to now. Looking back, they really didn't have a lot of stars, so sometimes the pay-per-views weren't really that good, especially in 2010 to 2014.
John Morrison and Sheamus had a solid match, and the 5v5 match of Team Mysterio versus Team Del Rio was actually pretty fun. But yo, ain't nobody buying a show to watch those matches. The issue was, the second half of the show was
this shit was...
23-year-old Kane as world champion versus Edge is your second biggest match of the night. It ain't looking too good, partner. Edge versus Kane for the world title might genuinely be the most forgettable world title match in WWE history. I had zero recollection of this match, and you know what? That was for the best. Whoever booked this match needs to be shot. Now, I'm dead serious, because Edge versus Kane in a slow-ass match where half the match involves them just doing nothing, that itself is a war crime, but this match might have the worst ending I have seen for a big-time match in my life. Around 10 minutes into the match, yes, 10 minutes into the match, Edge slips out of a tombstone and out of nowhere hits a spear, and both men are laid out and they're down like they had some next epic 5-star match. Mind you, it is the first finisher of the match, and while they're down, the referee just starts counting. Everyone is like, what the hell is going on? But apparently Edge's arm ever so slightly being on Kane's chest is a pin now, so 1, 2, 3, the referee counts it, Edge's music hits, and oh my god, Edge has won the world title. The crowd finally comes alive, they are shocked, they're surprised, and even I was. It's like, okay, sure, fine, it could have been worse. At least there was a title change, it's fine. But no, It was worse, because these idiots decided to do an
Hold
even
up.
stupider finish than what we saw. See, turns out Kane also had his arm ever
Look
so
at-
slightly on Edge's chest.
Like, it's
So when the
on
referee
it, but like
counted, he
barely.
counted for
Honestly,
both
that's
men.
barely
Yo,
on that.
what? 1, 2, 3. Turns out this match was actually a draw. What the hell were these idiots thinking? First of all, it's Edge versus Kane. That itself is just not it. Second, out of every ending, if you're gonna do a draw, this is what you think of? Kane walks out champion. I lost all my brain cells and it hadn't even been 2 hours yet. And to follow up this masterpiece, they gave us Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel taking on Santino Marella and Vladimir Kozlov.
Yeah, the tag team division was also pretty trash around this time.
Come on,
like no real tag team, honestly.
Now the main
like
event of
no
the
real
show
like
was the
popular
only thing
tag team.
people
I believe
cared
like the
about.
last
The
one was
entire
like in
show was
09,
built
but
up
like
for the main
between
event, which
010
was
and
Nexus
like
leader Wade Barrett taking
like
on
012,
Randy
they didn't even
Orton
have like
with
a
John Cena
real
as the
like
referee.
popular
The
tag
stipulation
team.
was
Like
if
they
Wade
had
Barrett won
tag
this
teams,
match,
but like
Cena
they didn't
would
have
be
like
free from
a
Nexus.
popular
But if
like
Randy
a
Orton had won the
popular one.
match,
You guys
Cena
get what
would
I'm
be
saying.
fired from the WWE. Cena's destiny was in his own hands, and this was honestly a pretty cool stipulation, and this was really hype going into it because everyone expected and everyone wanted Wade Barrett to become the champion. This was supposed to be the night where the Nexus storyline was finally redeemed and made right again, and despite the rest of the show not being anything special, this was a great idea for a main event. And the ending of Cena costing Wade the title and being fired from the company was a huge twist at the time. Nobody saw this coming, and it's actually so funny watching this back and seeing how dramatic they were with Cena leaving. This man pulled an Undertaker from WrestleMania 7 years earlier. You would think that Cena was never ever gonna show his face again the way he left here this night. Cena looked like he was about to cry, leaving his gear in the ring, saying goodbye to the crowd. The commentators were basically crying and pleading him not to go. They did everything they could to make it seem like he might actually be off TV for a while, and it was pretty well done, and it was really fun to watch again. But the thing is, the idiot was on Raw the very next night. Oh my god, no, definitely not a good start to the decade. 4 out of 10. We move on.
Honestly, I really find it funny. Honestly, when you really think about it, do you really think that they're just gonna like boot John Cena just because of that? Like, you know, since he's not like a part time. Like, if they do that storyline now, like obviously they're gonna do that because like, you know, he's a part timer, so it's like, you know, they could do that. But like 2010, not really. Like, honestly, I feel like they probably should have and like, you know, just made him return at, I don't know, Royal Rumble and then continue the feud. So then like, you know, John Cena and Wade Barrett have like a big feud at WrestleMania. Instead of John Cena having a pretty mid match against Miz, and then Wade Barrett being in a jobber match at WrestleMania. But I was like, yeah. So first Survivor Series of the decade. Not a great start, but now we got 2011, which I remember this being somewhat alright. I remember this being somewhat like alright. Like other than like the CM Punk match and the John Cena match, I feel like this was. It was pretty alright. It was pretty alright.
On to 2011 and live from Madison Square Garden for the 3rd time ever, it was Survivor Series. And yo, this is a show I remember vividly. If there was ever a show that the company could have booked to make it feel like Survivor Series was back, it was this one. The Rock was back and was wrestling for the first time in 7 years and teaming up with John Cena. It was tagged as never before, never again, and you already know I begged my mom to order this one. The MSG crowd was on fire all night, everything was solid, and the whole show just breezes by. But what makes this show so special are the 2 main events. CM Punk finally becoming champion after cementing himself as a main eventer in 2011 in the world's most famous arena against Del Rio was special. From the Howard Finkel introduction that made it feel like the fans wanted Punk to win. It was legendary. And to top it all off, Punk won by hitting the Randy Savage elbow just months after he passed away into the Anaconda Vice. He won the title, and yo, I'm not even the biggest CM Punk fan, but you gotta love this moment. One of the loudest pops you'll ever hear.
Also, it was the start to a very good, great title reign.
Didn't break anything this time, and the rest was history.
Didn't break anything like last time.
Was just as special. The Rock coming back to team up with Cena. What more can I say? First match in 7 years. He got the crazy crowd reaction, and it was all eyes on The Rock. It was like, was he gonna be the same? Was he gonna have ring rust? Does he still have it in him? Was he still The Rock? And yo, I'll never forget my jaw being on the floor, seeing this maniac go in the ring and being so fast, so quick, so agile. You would think this guy snorted all the coke in Miami before this match because he legit
snorted all the
better
coke from Miami. It's
The Rock
crazy.
was back. Him and Cena clapped Miz in Truth, won the match. It was awesome. A really fun night to be a wrestling fan, and it ended with The Rock getting the the rock bottom on Cena, continuing the setup to Mania. This was so fun to watch again, and this was really a
also
show where
Rock
Survivor
did
Series felt
shout
special
out
again.
Zack Ryder
8 out of 10.
on
Survivor
after.
Series 2012 live from Indiana was definitely a little snap back to reality after last year's show. Let's be honest, there is only one.
Let's be honest. Like let's all brutally be honest. The only reason a lot of remember this was because of the Shield. Like, I'm not gonna hate because, like, I like all three members of the Shield and all that, and like, their debut, I feel like it's definitely like one of the best NXT like call ups. Was like, let's be honest. Ask someone like what else happened on this show. Like, like literally ask like a rando. Okay, name me something else that happened on the show of 2012 Survivor Series. I'm betting they probably won't name one thing. Like, I'm betting.
One thing that people remember from this show, and it's not David Otunga wrestling, it's the debut of the Shield. This show is weird because it's not a bad show whatsoever, and most of the matches are pretty decent quality, but back then you just expected more from what was supposed to be a top 4 show. See, Sheamus versus Big Show ending in a DQ and Cesaro versus R-Truth, they aren't exactly burning the house down, but it wasn't bad. The main event of CM Punk defending his title against Cena and Ryback. See, that was a banger. Heel Punk in his prime, slimy as he could possibly be, Cena was Cena, and this was before the steroids made Ryback mentally challenged. They did in fact tear the house down.
Damn,
as you know, this match only gets better with age because it ends with the Shield making their debut, just destroying everything in sight and setting in motion the next generation of the company. One of the best and most impactful debuts of all time after a great main event. Overall, this show is nothing to write home about. It's not bad, it's not amazing, it's solid. 6 out of 10. And you might say, hey Pav, I think you're being extra nice to the show. And you know what, you're probably right, because in 2013, ladies and gentlemen, to follow this,
yeah, 2013, honestly, I'm calling now. Either 2013 or 2015 are definitely like one of the worst Survivor Series of the decade. I think it's between those two. Like 2010, okay, it was nothing. 2011, it was pretty alright. 2012, it was pretty alright. The only reason people remember it is because Shield. But bro, 2013, it was pretty shit. And then 2015 is like, it's just pretty boring. I'm betting he's gonna say the same thing.
We got the most infamous Survivor Series of all time. I'm sorry, Bret Hart. Survivor Series 2013, headlined by Randy Orton versus The Big Show. Do I even need to say anything else?
Randy Orton's my GOAT, but damn, not even gonna hold you. He really cannot carry Big Show.
Main events of any pay-per-view of all time.
He really couldn't carry Big Show.
Yo, this actually gave me depression. Not only is this one of the worst shows in terms of quality, this was the lowest bought Survivor Series ever, doing 180,000 buys. Gee, I wonder why. Yo, what kind of drugs do you have to be on to book a main event like this? And the fact that it even did 180,000 buys, that itself is too much. How did 180,000 people spend their hard-earned money to watch Big Show versus Randy Orton and John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio?
Yeah.
Yo, this was a pay-per-view that once had importance. We used to be a proper country. This was once a top 4 pay-per-view of the year that had classics. Now they were just throwing a big fat guy into the main event because he cried on Raw a few weeks ago.
It really wasn't
look
bad.
At this card, okay?
It really wasn't.
Big E versus Curtis Axel. Mark Henry versus Ryback.
See, this is what I'm talking about when I say the cards between 2010 and 2014 weren't that good.
Out here getting eliminated by
especially the women's matches. Like, most of them
eliminated by a turnbuckle.
They were like 10 minutes.
Match for 18 minutes because yay, that's what we want. And the 2 most popular wrestlers on the card, let's just put them in a random tag team match because we don't want them in the main event scene. The fact that this happened actually blows my mind. The fact that they thought the Big Show versus Randy Orton was a viable main event is insane. These really were the dark ages, and this showed just how little they thought of Survivor Series. 2 out of 10. Absolutely horrible. Just please don't ever watch this.
Yeah.
We move on to 2014. Hey yo, you thought Survivor Series 2012 was a one-match show? Ladies and gentlemen, 2014's edition of this event might genuinely be the biggest one-match show ever. I cannot.
But not seriously, other than like the main event, yeah. Like, I remember a lot from the show actually.
In the comments to drop a show that was saved by the main event more than this one. When people think of this,
like, I actually like I actually like the 2014 Survivor Series. Like, I actually really like this this pay-per-view. Like, even though it really does get carried by the main event, I still remember some stuff from this show. Like, Miz and Mizdow winning the tag belts, and like, AJ Lee's last Divas Championship run? And like all that was like, you know, honestly, let's be honest, it really does get carried by the main event. Like let's be completely honest.
Show, like, they actually get the warm and fuzzies. They think of how fun this show was, but yo, let me tell you, it wasn't because Adam Rose was running around with the bunny or Team Natalia versus Team Paige. It was the main event and only the main event. Team Cena versus Team Authority is a classic in every single way. The drama, the action, the hype, the twist, it is hard to find anything wrong with this match. And yo, all I know is Vince McMahon will not be seeing heaven for how he mishandled Dolph Ziggler after this match.
Let's talk about it. He pulled one of the most all-time all-star clutches in whatever, in history. Like, Dolph Ziggler was literally just that nigga on that night. Like, he just pulled an all-star clutch.
This should have been the night he became a main eventer. And yo, them having Cena get eliminated halfway into the match was genius. One of the best booking decisions they could have done. You eliminate Super Cena 20 minutes into a 40-minute match, and then you have Dolph Ziggler just clutch a 3v1. It doesn't get more dramatic and more fun than that. And of course, the Sting debut at the end that shocked the world just made it into a certified classic. 10 out of 10, true classic. Put this match in the Hall of Fame. Single-handedly saved this show. This match alone, 9 years later, has people looking back at the show fondly. That's how good it was. A show that would have been worse than 2013 was saved. 1 out of 10.
I would say worse, but okay.
Survivor Series 2015.
Pretty boring. This one, I feel like it's the most boring one, honestly. This felt more like a B show pay-per-view. Like something like Fastlane.
Now I had to sit here and watch the most average, most whatever show on the list. The most memorable thing about this show was the fact that ISIS almost blew it up. Just a few days before the show, the FBI released a statement regarding a possible ISIS threat for the event, and it's like, damn, even ISIS hated 2015 Roman Reigns.
Even ISIS hates Roman Reigns.
The 25th anniversary of The Undertaker, and yeah, he had one badass entrance on this night, and then proceeded to have the most whatever meaningless 10-minute tag match with his brother. And other than that, it featured a one-night tournament for the vacant world title, which on paper seems really cool, but Roman Reigns wins.
We already knew Roman was gonna win.
The final match of Dean versus Roman, a pretty big time match, it was just 9 minutes long and ended quickly with Roman Reigns winning. And then Sheamus cashes in and he just looks so ugly at this time. Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
So he cashes in, he becomes world champion, and it's like, how does the show end with the world champion being someone even less interesting than 2015 Roman Reigns? A plot.
I feel bad for Sheamus. I really do. Because, like, actually, let me not say 2013, 2015. 2015 to 2016, Sheamus was... He was just there. He really wasn't that interesting, pulling off bangers like he's doing now, having great feuds. He was just there. Like, no disrespect to like the Bar when they started in 2016, but it was like, you know, no one really was catching on until 2017. Like, if we're being really honest, it was like, yeah, he was literally just there. And then like the stable he had, like the League of Nations. One of the worst ones. I'm gonna be so it's like
plot twist just for the sake of a plot twist, just a boring bad show, not good. 3.5 out of 10. Next up, Survivor Series 2016, the one and only Survivor Series I have ever attended. Survivor Series this year finally had a purpose again. It was SmackDown versus Raw, and the main event was a big time match that was called Fantasy Warfare. Yo, let's be honest, this was a fun show. The men's SmackDown versus Raw match from the show is straight up
This
awesome.
one's definitely an underrated one. I'm gonna be so honest. Like, I remember everything from this pay-per-view.
All the top hitters of 2016 in one match, just going crazy. 52 minutes, yes, 52 minutes, and there was not one
especially
moment
this match
in person or watching it all these years later. I mean, how can you be bored? You got the Shield reuniting, Shane McMahon getting absolutely murdered, RKOs everywhere, and Bray and Randy coming clutch and winning it at the end.
My goat and Bray, hashtag Rip Bray, coming in clutch. Love to see it. Love to see it. This is my favorite.
The heavy hitters tweaking and just
top 5 Survivor Series matches. I don't care what anyone says.
I mean, yo, what do I even have to say? It's a match that is so fascinating. Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. Brock Lesnar, the Demon, losing in 1 minute and 29 seconds in one of the most surreal and shocking moments I can remember. No one thought this would ever happen. No one thought anything like this would ever happen, let alone against a old retired Goldberg. But it did, and it was such a fun moment, and it's such a fun show to go back to. And yeah, maybe I'm biased because I was there, but hey, I had a good time watching it. It's a show that just flies by, especially when half of the show was just the last 2 matches, and we finally reached a point in the journey where the women finally got some respect and were able to put on a solid
I feel
match.
like 2016 was definitely one of the first years like with the women's matches were actually pretty good.
We made it out the mud. We finally eating again, and this was a great show.
For
the longest time, I always thought this show sucked because I remember the main event being absolute garbage. But
we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later.
Had some bangers. The opening match was a match I had totally forgotten about. When the show started and I realized the Shield had a match against the New Day, I was just sitting there like, wait, what? But nah, it was the Shield versus the New Day 6-man tag match, and the 2 of the best factions of the 2010s went out there and tweaked. Everyone always talks about the Shield versus the Wyatts, as they should, but this match needs some more praise because
I'm just saying they kind of caught up
there. The New Day were
Shield versus
no
Wyatt family versus New Day versus Shield. All 3 of those cooked. I don't want to hear it from no one. Like all 3 of those matches cooked. I don't want to hear from no one.
Out of all the shows I watched, this was 100% the best forgotten match of them all. Maybe it's just me who forgot about this, I don't know, but this really caught me lacking. And the rest of the show continued to leave me shook. The Bar versus the Usos was what you expect with all that talent in the ring. Charlotte versus Prime Alexa Bliss before she became Shaq in a Celtics jersey was solid, and the match that we all thought was impossible just 2 years prior to this absolutely delivered in every way. It's Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. I love this match, you love this match, everyone loves this match. Everyone back in 2017 expected Brock to just win in 5 minutes. The fact that we were even getting this match was cool enough, but realistically we knew it was going to be a bunch of suplexes, F5, and let's go home. But nah, Lesnar did kill AJ for a solid 10 minutes and it was brutal, but just when you thought it was wraps, AJ actually fought back and what we all hoped for actually happened. Next thing you know, flying forearms everywhere, springboards, 450s, AJ even had Lesnar in a submission and we had a fight. This match had the crowd going wild because somehow, some way, they made it seem like AJ Styles had a chance, like he could win, or at the very least,
I'm saying we all knew he was gonna lose, but hey,
destroyed everyone.
They had a good match. That was like one of the
journey so far, and it was an absolutely beautiful match and it was a treat to watch all over again. If that match had closed out the show, this would have been one of the best Survivor Series in a long time. This would have been a pay-per-view that was considered top tier, but the issue was they didn't. Sadly, these idiots proceeded to have one of the worst Survivor Series tag team matches as the main event.
I don't get how I don't get how. Like, hold up. You have the star power. You have rising stars like Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode. You have Samoa Joe and Finn Balor in there. Yet, Triple H and Shane and Braun Strowman are the last 2 to be in the match. Like, I'm just like, dog. Like, you have all the star power. You have all the rising stars. Yet, how are those 2 the last 2 to be the sole survivors? Just, oh man, I'm always gonna like question this match. Like, the lineup looks fire. The actual result.
I hate this main event. I hated it back in 2017. I hate it now. This main event is one of the stupidest matches I have seen in my life. This makes Kane versus Edge look like a 5-star classic. To follow up last year's match, they ran it back one more time. SmackDown versus Raw, and this time they had some even more crazy star power. John Cena, Randy Orton, Triple H, Kurt Angle, Nakamura, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe to name a few. And after last year's match, there were some insane expectations for this. We thought we were gonna get something legendary, or at the very least something good, right? With all that talent, that's pretty warranted. But nah, instead it was a showcase match for Shane McMahon and Triple H.
Yep.
Cena got eliminated after taking like 2 moves. Nakamura at this point, who was red hot, was the
Nakamura and Bobby Roode got eliminated quickly. Love to see it.
Triple H hit his own teammate Kurt Angle with a pedigree, turned on Kurt, then let Shane pin and eliminate Kurt, just to proceed to then eliminate Shane himself and win the match anyway. Yo, what the hell was this? No, like really, what was this? This was a bigger terrorist attack than anything ISIS could have done. How do you have someone turn on their partner in some crazy twist and then they still go full Superman and win the match for their partner anyway when his partner's career's on the line? And wait, why the f was Shane McMahon the last one standing for Team SmackDown? Nah, this main event was nasty work, and I absolutely
like. I get he's the commissioner, but like, you know, you can't have someone else. Like, damn.
That's how garbage the main event was. But looking back at it, if you pretend that this main event never happened, Survivor Series 2017 is low-key one of the best of the decade, 7 out of 10. Survivor Series 2018. Now this is actually a super solid show, and that is crazy because this show took place just 3 months after this debacle. There is not a
not gonna hold you. The only reason I hate the Survivor Series is because for some reason they let Raw absolutely cook SmackDown.
Wasn't doing its best at this point, but top to bottom, this is a great watch. SmackDown versus
like the matches were good, but
just a mid-card type beat, but still was pretty good.
Why'd I have to let Raw just absolutely cook SmackDown?
It was fascinating to see how much the mid-card improved over the years. We really went from Ryback versus Mark Henry to just great matches top down, and one of the matches that really was just awesome to watch was Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. This match took place just 11 months into Ronda's career, and her and Charlotte went off. This was supposed to be a tease for a future banger between these two. Turns out this was the banger the whole time. It did not seem like these two hated each other, and it really showed in this match. And what made the match even better was when the match started, the fans were chanting for Becky Lynch, but by the end, they were chanting, "This is awesome."
Yeah, the match was really good, even if you look at the result.
Ronda was in her prime as a wrestler, and even though it ended as a DQ, this was great. These women just still had their aura back then, and they delivered in every way. Charlotte attacking Ronda after the match was brutal, like legit brutal. By the end, Charlotte was a crazy woman. She had snapped and the crowd loved it. It's kind of sad though because this was such a money match and this was supposed to set up their future bangers, but they were never able to replicate this magic ever again.
Sad.
But here, holy no,
like imagine 2018, 2018 Charlotte and Ronda at like 2021 WrestleMania. I feel like the match would have been better. It would have been cooked.
Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar,
and this is the match.
Low-key like this match even more than the AJ one, just slightly. Heel Bryan.
Shit, I don't blame you, Pav. Honestly, I'm into this dude. Like,
no fear, taking all of Lesnar's offense and going back and trying to break Lesnar's fingers.
Cause hold up. I'm into thinking that Daniel Bryan versus Brock is way better than Brock versus AJ. Cause both of the matches are good. Both of them are amazing. Love them. But it's like, you know, you coming off of Bryan literally just turning heel like what? 4 days ago. So it's like, okay, what's he gotta do? And it's like, look at that. Okay, like yeah, he's getting destroyed because like, you know, we're most likely gonna see Brock like and destroy him, but it's like then once he started getting offense, he's like, get him, Bryan, yes. And it's like, oh my god, like I really like enjoyed it more than AJ, cause like, you know. But I just want to say this now, both of the matches were great. Both of them are great. Like I just enjoyed this match more, but like, you know, both of them amazing.
Break his head, just do anything he could. What more could you want? Lesnar was out here saying like Bryan was one of the greatest wrestlers ever, despite his size. Oh wait, he is.
He technically is. He is definitely top 5. I just want to say that now. He's not 1 or 2. He's not 3 or 2.
We knew he was never gonna win deep down, but the fact that he almost made him tap out was special enough. Lesnar got the win here in an awesome match, technically, but yo, Bryan got the moral victory if I've ever seen a moral victory. Great match, great show. Somehow, someway, Survivor Series 2018 was actually good and actually delivered. Who would have thunk it? In the comments down below, let me know, which do you prefer? Styles versus Lesnar or Bryan versus Lesnar? But overall,
Bryan versus Lesnar.
And last but not least, Survivor Series 2019.
Not gonna hold you.
Back in 2019, got a lot
I think this one,
and it still holds up well. What was going to be just another SmackDown versus Raw
this one could be the best one, and it's not because NXT is just here.
From Saudi Arabia.
Technically,
and as a result, watching this show all these years later, this is a trip. The first match of the night was the women's match, and all you see is Team NXT, and you see Bianca, Rhea, and Io all before they're on the main roster, before any WrestleMania main event, before all the titles, and it's like, damn, because they got the opportunity here, and they really showed out. This was the moment where they really put everyone on notice and kind of cemented that they were going to be big stars going into the future. But yeah, overall, this show was just a trip. Like
the matches were good.
Nakamura.
Also, this match right here, this is a Ring of Honor type of match,
awesome, by the way,
including this one, and both of them cooked.
The men's tag, which was supposed to showcase the future, had Keith Lee come off as someone who's going to be one of the biggest stars in the company. Matt Riddle came off as that guy. Roman Reigns was in the match, and he was a sole survivor, but this was back when he was still the good guy who all the fans booed, and he looked so cringe. This Roman Reigns is now...
Quick side note, quick side note, I feel so bad for Keith Lee. I feel so bad. Like, he came off of this match looking like a beast, looking like a goat. They could have turned him into one of the best big men right now. Like, big men in the business right now. And I feel like he's still he still somewhat is, but it's like, damn, the way WWE fumbled him and the way AEW is not fumbling him, I'm just, I really feel so bad for Keith Lee. Like, his prime was 2020, and then once shit just start going bad for him. Like, honestly, I kind of hope either AEW eventually push him, or like, you know, if they release him, or you know, or like, you know, Keith Lee gets away from his contract, he goes back to WWE. I don't care. I just want some company to push him to be a beast. Just please, for the love of God.
Definitely dead. And in the same match, which was supposed to showcase the future, Walter, aka Gunta, was the first man pinned in the match.
That's just kind of funny to see. Like, damn, he got, like, the first time he ever got pinned in WWE, it was in an underwhelming
just
way.
The difference of what really happens. A really solid show, top to bottom, a trip in every way, and something that everyone I feel like should go back and watch just to see how much of a difference there is in everything. The only complaint was, though, the show was one, way too long, and second, there was no reason for the women's match to be the main event.
Yeah,
and Brock and Ray for the title, amazing 7 minutes. I still think Ray should have won the title here. I don't care if Brock came back the next night and killed Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio should have been champion, even just for a day. This was a solid show, another 7 out of 10, and boom, there you go. I watched every Survivor Series of the 2010s, and that was very interesting to say the least.
Terrence, that was the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Alright. Okay, that was a really good video from Pav. Very good video from Pav, like always. I honestly enjoyed it. But if I had to rank the Survivor Series from 2010s, here's how I would rank them personally. So 1, 2016, 2, 2019, 3, 2017, 4, 2018, 5, 2011, 6, 2012, 7, 2014, 8, 2010, 9, 2015, and 10, 2013. Tell me what in the comments. What do you guys rank on the Survivor Series? Honestly, this is how I rank them. Honestly, I think you probably should like go rewatch them myself, see the events, because like, you know, obviously he didn't mention everything that happened, and like, you know, just see, because maybe my pins might change, maybe they will not. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the bell and it's gonna notify when I upload a new video. Comment what do you guys want me to react to next. If you guys want me to react to some more wrestling content or gaming content, please tell me in the comments and I will do it. More gaming videos will be coming out soon. And anyway, guys, that was the video. I'll see you wrestlers later. Bye.
Hope you